So Piers Morgan had Francesca Albanese on his show to talk about the flotilla that was headed to Gaza to break the completely illegal siege that Israel has placed on Gaza. Now, a lot of things to discuss about this flotilla. Why is it headed there? Who's on it? What are they trying to deliver? Why is Israel even able to threaten these people? All of that stuff. But no, Piers Morgan wants to discuss how Greta Thunberg has the gall, the fucking audacity to be seen smiling on camera and eating a sandwich.
I beg your pardon?
He invites a world-renowned expert, a woman who speaks something like 10 fucking languages, a woman who is the UN special rapporteur for the Palestinian territories, who has personal knowledge about what's going on there, a unique perspective to provide, sources that probably Piers doesn't normally have access to, but no. He wants to discuss, like a 13-year-old girl writing in her fucking burn book, why Greta Thunberg is just the worst, you know? This whole thing was a publicity stunt. She went on a dangerous mission where she might have even died because people who have been on flotillas in the past have died. Not that Piers has brought on anyone to be interviewed about that shit recently, but she could have died. And she was trying to bring like baby formula and blankets and stuff to Gaza. Of course, it was never going to be enough to feed everybody that was there. What a ridiculous notion. The idea was to show the world and to show the Gazan people that somebody is trying, that we haven't all completely abandoned you, even though our governments have. And then let's talk about the whole, didn't you know Israel was gonna like blow up her boat or something? How is that not anti-Semitic? How is it not anti-Semitic to just assume that Israel is going to destroy any ship that has the audacity to be carrying diapers and baby formula, 3D printers for prosthetic limbs for babies? The man who has been forcing everyone to condemn Hamas and this is anti-Semitic and that's anti-Semitic and saying free Palestine is anti-Semitic, that guy is now saying, well, of course the only Jewish state in the world was going to attack you for trying to help Palestinians. How is that not anti-Semitic? But for Piers, when it comes to the defense of Israel, literally, there is no bottom. There is no low that is too low for him not to swoop to, including attacking the character of a girl who is young enough to be his fucking granddaughter, and then to waste the time of such a respected person like Francesca Albanese. I don't understand what the point of that was, except to embarrass her. And then also Piers is on this whole stint recently where he's trying to rewrite history like a fucking Israeli, pretending that I was supporting Gaza the whole time. You know, for me, this was just about proportionality and getting the hostages back. Really, if you were objective, Piers, you might have said, where are the Palestinian hostages? When Hamas launched their October 7th Al-Aqsa flood attack, what was the purpose of that? Was it not to get their fucking hostages back who are being held in horrible facilities in Israel? We all saw what the hostages looked like when they were coming out of Palestine. They got fed better than their captors were eating. They got fed better than most people in Gaza were being fed. They had every step taken to ensure their comfort. I'm not saying, oh, yay, it was such a nice captain. Obviously, nobody wants to be fucking held hostage, but there is a difference. There is a difference in the level of humanity that is extended to people in the time of war. And we've seen exactly what Israel is willing to do to their hostages. They come out of there looking like some sort of World War II documentary when we saw the Jews coming out of those camps. And this is not an exaggeration. These kids are skin and bones. The adults are skin and bones. Israel literally held mothers at gunpoint and told them to walk away from their babies in incubators only to return and find them all skeleton and dead. That happened back when Israel was pretending that they weren't bombing hospitals. Back when they were putting on those stupid shows about fake nurses in the hospital talking about, oh my God, I'm an Arab and I'm stuck in this hospital and Hamas is... And it turned out to be an Israeli woman. And now when every country in the world, including this one that I'm in, Canada, including my own country, has failed Gaza and the Palestinian people in an epic way, in a shameful way that everyone will be certain to try to wash their hands of when the dust settles. When all of that is happening and a boat, a flotilla full of just a few dozen people trying to do anything that they can to bring a little bit of ease to that suffering, to bring some attention to that suffering, Piers Morgan has a problem with it. Says she's attention grabbing and isn't bringing any attention to the issue at all. Well, Piers, did you invite Francesca on when that other flotilla got attacked and people died? No, you didn't. You only invited her on because you wanted to bash on a 21-year-old girl. I was going to say child because I can't get images of Greta Thunberg as a child out of my head. Once I've seen you as a kid, you're always a kid. It's like how I feel about Hermione Granger. It's weird that she's like an adult now. But yeah, That's how he wants to waste time. And you know what, Piers? Smarter people than you might have brought on somebody who already hates Greta. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to turn an intelligent woman against someone who's helping the Gazans, you might have just thought about some right-wing, weirdo, mouth-foaming Israel supporter to come on and help you bash Greta, because that was humiliating for you. I got secondhand embarrassment from it, and I felt bad that you had the opportunity to speak with Francesca and chose to waste your time on that. You're not asking her about the need for that 3D printer to go into Gaza because Israel directly and purposefully targeted a amputee warehouse where Gazans were housing all of the prosthetics that they were giving to limbless children. Israel specifically targeted that building and blew it up. I guess they were really pissed off that there was some comfort to these kids who had their limbs blown off. Apparently they were really pissed off about that Miss Rachel video, so they had to make sure that if Gazan children lost their limbs, that there was no hope for them living a normal life after that. You don't talk about that. You don't talk about how it's completely fucking illegal to board that boat, that it's traveling in international waters. You don't talk about the fact that the other flotilla was waving the flag of Pierce's own country, the British flag, and it still got blown up. Israel had no right to do that. But of course, for Pierce and everyone else who drank the Kool-Aid, Israel has the right to defend themselves. They have the right to defend themselves all the way right into your house, take a gun to your fucking head and blow your brains out. And that's still self-defense if it's an Israeli doing it. All of us are feeling a sense of helplessness. Like, what can I do? I want it to stop with everything in me. I want the suffering to stop. And then you have people like Greta and the people that are on the flotilla with her. Think what you want about them as outside of the situation, but in this situation, they're carrying our hopes, our ambitions, our desire to break through that blockade ourselves. And they're doing it, and they're risking it, and they're giving us all something to cheer for. And if you think that, as Piers tried to assert, that nobody in Gaza cares, that is a patently false thing to say. If I care, sitting here in Toronto, stuffing my face with all of the luxurious processed foods that are, if I'm excited for them, of course the Gazans are excited. Even if it feeds 1 kid, 10 kids out of the 500,000 million kids that are there, who cares? Let them see that somebody can actually blow through that blockade. Let them see that Israel is bullying all of the leaders of the world, but the people of the world are not sheep to just go with that we hate what our government is doing. It sends a message. It gives hope, and hope is something that maybe is the only thing you can't take away from Palestinians at this point. Anyhow, another truly embarrassing moment from the man who made the phrase, "Do you condemn Hamas?" fucking famous. He's never once asked why Israel is keeping thousands upon thousands of hostages, but he has, for the last almost 2 years, justified a genocide in the name of 50 hostages. Just remember that. Anyhow, we're going to wrap it up here so we can talk about the missiles flying back and forth between Iran and Israel and the fact that Donald Trump is in Canada. Ugh. So, Bread in Captivity, out.